Sushruta for NEET is now available on the Google Play Store. Try it out for free.
Good morning, everybody. Hearty welcome to biology class of JnanaMarga and URA combined. In today's class, I am going to continue the environmental issues. We have been studying about the waste. How much waste is generated in the domestic sewage? What all the different types of waste are there in the industrial sewage also? Now let us look into this in continuation what we are studying yesterday. I said about the three types: eutrophic, that is a well-nourished one, and also have told about oligotrophic and dystrophic. A few toxic substances often present in industrial waste can undergo biological magnification. What is this biomagnification? Always ask for 1 mark or sometimes to elaborate for 2-3 marks. Biological magnification or biomagnification is nothing but accumulation of these toxic substances continuously and passing from one trophic level to another trophic level. A few toxic substances often present in industrial water can undergo biological magnification or biomagnification in the aquatic food chain. Biomagnification refers to increase in the concentration of the toxicant at a successive trophic level. If it is asked for 1 mark, you have to write this answer. Biomagnification refers to increase in concentration of the toxicant at successive trophic levels. This happens because a toxic substance accumulated by an organism cannot be metabolized or excreted. It is not broken down. It is not utilized inside the body, or it is not excreted from the body also. Once it enters the body of an organism, it goes on accumulating without getting metabolized or excreted and thus pass on to next trophic level. This phenomenon is well known for mercury and DDT. I hope you might have heard about Minamata disease. Have you heard about this? Minamata disease? Any one of you? Hello? Minamata. No. Just for your information, right? Minamata disease is the disease that you encounter at Germany. Minamata disease, are you seeing this board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Minamata disease is a neurological disease caused by severe mercury poisoning. Okay? What is the cause of Minamata disease? Minamata disease is a methyl mercury poisoning with neurological symptoms caused by the daily consumption of large quantities of fish and shellfish. Shellfish are the products of mollusks and arthropods. that are heavily contaminated with the toxic chemical generated by chemical factories at Germany. And what did happen? When did the Minamata disease occur? Minamata disease occurred, it was in 1956. Right? And it was released from a chemical plant, Chisso Co Limited. What happened when the people ate these fishes which were contaminated with mercury? This resulted typical symptoms included sensory disturbances, ataxia, dysphagia, constriction visual fluids. Putting in one word, most of them have either become blind or deaf and suffer from severe neurological problems. Why it is called Minamata disease? This is because it was, one minute, it was in the place. Medical definition of the Minamata, okay, 1 minute? Yeah. Medical definition of the Minamata disease. A toxic neuropathy caused by the ingestion of methyl mercury compound as in contaminated seafood and characterized by the impairment of cerebral functions, constrictions of visual field, and progressive weakening of muscles. So this is what, right? Therefore, many times we come across such problems, right? By the accumulation of the chemicals like DDT and also mercury. Now let us study how that problem of accumulation of DDT causes problem to the health. What is that? Biomagnification. Whenever this DDT enters, let me just tell you, the DDT, whatever we use, in earlier days, we are extensively using DDT for each and every purpose. Now, it is banned. Whenever the DDT is used, it won't get dissolved in water. DDT just gets passed to the nearby water. If it will be spray DDT. In earlier days, for each and everything we used to use DDT, spray DDT. And this the DDT, whenever it is powder, spray DDT in a sense, it is a powder. Whenever you put this DDT, it used to get nearby in water, and along with the water, it used to enter into the body of the plants. Or that means zooplankton or phytoplankton in aquatic medium. From there, it used to enter into the zooplankton. From there, into the body of smaller fishes. From there, into the body of larger fishes. From there, into the body of all animals which eat fish, including human beings. DDT, once it gets into the body, it never used to go out. It never used to get metabolized. So, it never used to get excreted. It never used to get metabolized. It never used to get converted into any other form and used to accumulate. And this has resulted in the problem. Look here. What you have here, look, DDT in the water 0.003 parts per million. From the phytoplanktons, when the zooplankton eats the phytoplankton, it used to enter into the body of zooplankton and get accumulated. See the level from 0.003 in the phytoplankton, and a lot of phytoplanktons are consumed by zooplankton, the DDT level increases to 0.04 because there is no way of going out. When these zooplanktons were eaten by small fishes, DDT started getting accumulated in their body. From 0.04, it got accumulated to the extent of 0.5 ppm parts per million. Then, when these smaller fishes were eaten by larger fishes, DDT started accumulating more and more, resulting in 2 ppm. And when these are eaten by fish-eating birds, it used to accumulate to 5 ppm or even to the extent of 25 ppm. If it is we eat the fish, DDT once enters into our body, it used to remain in our body only. I hope you are understanding my point. Is it clear, Prithvi?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I go ahead? Janani? Janani? In this manner, the concentration density is increased at a successive top level. Say, if it starts at 0.003 ppb parts per billion in water, it can ultimately reach a 25 ppm in fish eating birds through biomagnification. High concentration density disturb calcium metabolism in birds. So birds contaminated with the DDT started laying very thin-shelled eggs. These thin-shelled eggs used to get broken before the young ones used to get hatched. So it has brought down the bird population drastically down. High concentration of DDT disturb calcium metabolism in birds, which causes thinning of eggshell and their premature breaking, eventually causing decline in bird population. Have you understood this, Nadira? Right? Clear? So, eutrophication is the now. Next one that let us see what is this eutrophication. You heard about eutrophication. In fact, eutrophication results in more and more nutrients coming and getting accumulated in the water. What will happen when more and more, now you know, I am asking the question to Siddesh. Sarottam can also help him. Siddesh or Sarvesh? Sarottam? Are you prepared?
Yes, sir.
Siddesh or Sarottam? Hello? Siddesh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you seen any pond in your place, village, in your place? Natural
Yes,
pond.
sir.
And have you seen this pond? For how many years you are seeing this pond?
3 to 4 years, sir.
3 to 4 years. Anyone has, anyone is seeing the pond since more than that? Anyone? Is it not the pond which you are seeing goes on shrinking from year to year? Anyone of you have observed it? Goes on becoming smaller and smaller, shrinking. Anyone? Kanisa? Have you
Yes,
come?
yes, sir.
So, this is what is happening. How the pond is shrinking, it is by the accumulation of more and more nutrients. Eutrophication is the natural aging of a lake by nutrient enrichment of its water. Whenever the rainwater used to fill up this pond lake, during rainy season, rainwater generally brings along with that a lot of this soil with that, with the nutrients. So this soil with the nutrients starts getting filled in the lake. Thereby its depth goes on decreasing. The lake starts becoming smaller and smaller. In a young lake, the water is cold and clear, supporting little life. In the young, at the beginning. With the time, young lake means the lake which is just formed. The depression that gets filled with water and all. Water is cold and clear, supporting little life. With the time, streams are draining into the lake. Streams are draining the lake. They start getting formed during rainy season. All the streams are small streams bring that water to the lake. With the time, streams are draining to the lake, introduce nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus. When these nitrogen and phosphorus are introduced into the lake, this encourages growth of aquatic organisms, both phytoplankton, zooplankton, like that. As the lake's fertility increases, as the lake's fertility, because more and more nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. coming from surrounding, as the lake's fertility increases, plant and animal life burgeon, that means grow or increase rapidly, and organic remains begin to be deposited on the lake bottom. When the plant and animals increase in the lake, when they die, their body gets settled, organic matter starts getting deposited on the lake bottom. Over the centuries, not one or two, over the centuries, as a silt and organic debris pile up, get accumulated more and more, the lake grows so shallower and warmer with warm water organisms supplanting those that are in a cold environment. At the beginning, because of more water was there, light never used to penetrate the bottom. So the water used to be a little bit cold down below. Only in that area where the light used to penetrate, it used to be warm. Now what happens? More and more nutrients started getting accumulated in the bottom of the pond or lake. The bottom gets filled with the nutrients. The depth of the lake decreases. More and more light starts penetrating up to the bottom. So what will happen? This is what you say. The lake grows so shallower. Shallower means its depth goes on increasing and decreasing. Depth goes on. Depth starts minimizing because of the accumulation of the more and more nutrients there, and also warmer because light starts penetrating up to the bottom. With warm water organisms now, earlier there were organisms which were habituated for the cold water, but now the animals which can live comfortably in the warm water or organisms which can live comfortably in warm water, they replace the cold water organisms. Marsh plants take root in the shallows and begin to fill in the original lake basin. I think you might have heard about the swamps and marshes. Swamps are the areas with water and the trees. Marshes are the areas with water and a little bit of shrubs. So this is what your marsh. See, entire this area was with water. You never used to see these plants also. Because of the accumulation of more and more nutrients, because of the decrease in the depth, wherever there was a little bit of soil, the plants started going there. And now, if you go there, here you can actually stand because there is a mud here. But here, no, it is deep. So the entire lake gradually starts becoming lesser and lesser deep, and the water starts becoming more and more shallow. Shallow water is the area where the light penetrates up to the bottom, and gradually lake starts dying. Lake gets transformed into that of the land. Okay, see, like this. Eventually, the lake gives way to large masses of floating plants, finally converting into land. Tanusri, have you understood this?
Yes.
Jyoti, hello? Please give your attendance. Aisha? Aisha,
Present, sir.
Blessy,
Yes, sir.
Kanisa,
Yes, sir.
Janani, Kavita,
Yes, sir.
Rafa,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Navya,
sir.
Yasmita,
Yes, sir.
Nadira,
Yes, sir.
Tanusri,
Yes, sir.
Jayasri,
Yes, sir.
Jayasri,
Yes, sir.
Savitri,
Yes, sir.
Jyoti,
Yes, sir.
Namrata,
Yes, sir.
Prithvi, Prithvi, Rakesh,
Present, sir.
Lohit,
Yes, sir.
Prithvi, Charan,
Yes, sir.
Chinmay,
Yes, sir.
Harshvardhan,
Yes, sir.
Sushruta,
Yes, sir.
Siddesh,
Yes,
Siddesh,
sir.
Vishwas.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am
Okay.
present, sir. I was
Prithvi.
unable to unmute.
Okay. Good that your father did not get any call from me. Depending on climate, size of the lake, and other factors, the natural aging of a lake may span thousands of years. What do you mean by natural aging? Aging of a lake means age becoming older and older. Young lake means the lake with plenty of water, with the cool water at the bottom and warm water at the top. When we say that age is becoming older and older, when we say that age is getting, the lake is getting aged, the depth of the lake goes on decreasing and the warmness of the water goes on increasing. However, pollutants from man's activities, like effluents from the industries and homes, can radically accelerate the aging process. So, if we release our effluents from industries and day-to-day activities of the homes, if we release these to the nearby lake and all, aging process accelerates. This phenomenon has been called cultural or accelerated eutrophication. So you must know that eutrophication is nothing but the lake when it gets loaded with more and more nutrients, there will be enrichment in the flora and fauna, making more and more fauna and flora to grow there. Eventually, their dead body starts getting accumulated at the bottom, increasing the organic matter. So, in due course of time, the lake starts getting aged. During the past century, lakes in many parts of the earth have been severely eutrophied by sewage and agriculture and industrial waste. Most of the lakes in the whole world are getting filled with more and more sewage or agriculture and industrial waste. That means most of the lakes in the world are dying year after year. The prime contaminants are the nitrates, phosphates, which act as a plant nutrients. Whenever we apply this NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, to the crop, uh, all these nutrients are not utilized by the crops. Some part of the nutrients are utilized by the crops. Later, some other part they get washed away with the rainwater to the nearby depressed land like a pond, lake, etc. And ultimately, these lakes which got formed, which got filled with these nutrients, they collapse. The prime contaminants are nitrate phosphate, which act as a plant nutrient. They overstimulate the growth of algae, causing unsightly scum and unpleasant odor. Sometimes you might have seen during summer season and all, small lakes with green water there, with the luxuriant growth of the algae, causing unsightly scum and unpleasant odor and robbing the water of the dissolved oxygen vital to other aquatic life. So, whenever more and more algae grow, they never allow the light to pass through the water, and the animals which grow down below, they get starved of oxygen. So the aquatic life suffers. At the same time, other pollutants flowing into a lake may poison whole populations of fish whose decomposing remains further deplete the water's dissolved oxygen content in such fashion a lake can literally choke to death. So other pollutants also they get into the lake. And these pollutants kill or poison the whole population of the fishes. And when these get killed, they get started accumulating in the bottom. Decomposing remains further. But it will not be proper. There is insufficient dissolved oxygen content. And all this results in badly smelling and ultimately it results to the death of the lake. Heated wastewater, this is another concept now we are trying. Heated thermal wastewaters flowing out of electricity generating units. Whenever the electricity gets generated, heated water starts flowing as an effluent. Heated wastewaters flowing out of electricity generating units, example thermal power plants, constitute another important category of pollutants. Please remember, heated wastewater. Thermal wastewater eliminates. Thermal wastewater means the wastewater which is in a very high degree of temperature. Whenever they are added to the water, it reduces the number of organisms sensitive to high temperature and may enhance the growth of plants, and fish in extremely cold areas, but only after causing damage to the indigenous flora and fauna. So one thing, whenever the industries are set up, most of the industries or factories are set up in such a way, either they are built on the very bank of the river, or if at all they are little bit away, some pipelines are brought underground from these industries or factories, and the effluents are released to the nearby water source, rivers, etc. Now, what will happen? I hope you may be knowing existing law. No factories or industries are supposed to release their effluents in the open area. If at all any factory or industry releases their effluents in the open area, if at all any if at all any domestic animals like a cow, goat, sheep, etc., come and drink that water which is left in open, if they die, the factory or the industry will be booked. Case will be lodged on them and the owners will be arrested. I hope you understand my point. No industries are allowed to release their effluents from factories or industries in the open area. If at all any such effluents are left, and if at all it causes the death of any organism, the factory or the industry will be put into task. So to avoid this, what they do, most of the industries, at the time of building itself, they try to find out where is the easy way of discharging their waste. Most of the waste that come out from this hydrothermal electricity generating area units, thermal power plants, they are in a boiling condition. And such a waste, if at all they are released to the water, those organisms they live in that water immediately in the vicinity, they get completely killed. Of course, after that, some other type of organism, they may get adjusted to that. Those who can tolerate such extremes of conditions may come up. But definitely, indigenous flora or fauna gets damaged. Indigenous flora means local flora. The flora and fauna that are known to that particular local area. Indigenous, opposite to indigenous, exotic, which we got from outside. So, now let us look into a case study of integrated wastewater treatment. Some people, they thought of effective management of the wastewater. One thing I wanted to tell in this connection, please remember, many of the government programs, for program's sake, for a project to say, excellent programs, excellent projects. Definitely, if those projects are implemented with 100% dedication, with 100% of a mindset to get it implemented perfectly, all these are bound to work extremely well. But what happens is, in each and every project, in each and every government program, the people get involved in corrupt practices. corrupt practices. If that money meant for that purpose, if at all it is spent in that way only, everything goes on smoothly. But in India, especially, our present scenario is that each and every political party wants to make some more money. Each and every MLA, MPs, ministers, they want to make money. If at all in America, the ex-president, after relinquishing his post, after getting a retirement, they get a retirement after 2 terms. If President of America has to work in offices for his livelihood after getting retired from these administrative responsibilities, you show me any MLA, any MP, anyone in India going for such work after the tenure gets over? Never. They make it a point. Once these political people get into power, they want to make it a point for another 78 generation, their people should have easy go. This is the case. For that, every politician is seen to make money. There is no exception to any party. Unfortunately, it is. So, now let us see what is happening here. A case study of integrated wastewater treatment. Wastewater including sewage, sewage is the one which comes out from the houses, also comes out from the industries, can be treated in an integrated manner by utilizing a mix of artificial and natural processes. Many of these many of these sewer treatment or anything, if at all the time that the whole management is left to our youths, and if at all some power is going to use, if at all money is going to use, we have plenty of youth power in India. They are capable of solving the problems of their own streets. If you are given responsibility to manage your own street without bringing any politics there, without looking into any self-interest there, definitely you can also do that. Let us see one such cases here. An example of such an initiative is in the town Arcata, situated along the north coast of California. What is the town? Arcata. Where it's situated? Along the north coast of California. Okay, right? Now, Lohit, Lohit,
Yes, sir.
ಈಗ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ? Please repeat my last sentence.
Sir, north coast of California. Sir.
Yeah, what is that place? Which place I referred?
California.
Place, California. What is that town? Namrata?
North coast.
Namrata?
Town of Arcata.
Town of Arcata. I was telling about this town of Arcata, in the north coast of California. What was done? Let us see. Collaborating with the biologists from the Humboldt State University. I hope you are seeing this screen. Am I right, Namrata?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some of these people of this town Arcata, they took the help of biologists from the Humboldt State University. These people created an integrated wastewater treatment process. Integrated wastewater treatment process within a natural system. What they did, according to their plan, the cleaning occurs in 2 stages. First, this sewage, whatever they used to get generated in their places, they made it to undergo conventional sedimentation. allowing the sewage to pass through some distance, certain distance. So whenever the sewage is made to flow certain distance, as usual, as you know, sedimentation takes place. Whatever that are very heavy materials, they get just settled at the bottom. And also they brought about filtering. Whatever the floating materials were found, they removed it. And chlorine treatments are given. You know that always the drinking water is given the chlorine treatment. After this stage, lots of dangerous pollutants like dissolved heavy metals still remain. Even if at all you allow it for sedimentation, for the heavy matters to get settled, filtering for the light matters to get removed, and chlorine treatment, even after this, lots of dangerous pollutants like dissolved heavy metals used to remain there. To combat with this dissolved material, dissolved heavy metal, what they did, they started going for an innovative approach. Innovative approach. That means something special. What is that? What did in this? I shall tell you what they started doing. They used to let the sewage to flow for certain distance. Heavy materials used to undergo sedimentation. The floating materials they use removed by filtering, and the chlorine also they have added to that water. And what is they noticed? Even after doing all the things, there is to be some dangerous pollutants, poison pollutants, heavy metals, etc. In order to treat that, they started another procedure. The biologists developed a series of 6 connected marshes over 60 hectares of marshland. They went for a series of six big marshes, 6 connected marshes over 60 hectares of land. 1 hectare is equal to 2.5 acres. So, in that marshy area, they made this water to just flow. Appropriate plants, algae, fungi, and bacteria were introduced into this area, which neutralized, absorbed, and assimilated the pollutants. So, when they made this sewage water to flow in about 60 hectares of land, getting exposed directly to the sunlight, and also made in this particular area lot of appropriate plants, algae, fungi, bacteria to grow there. And this resulted in neutralizing the pollutants or absorbing the pollutants and assimilating the pollutants. Hence, as the water flows through the marshes, it gets purified naturally. It started getting purified naturally. Right? Okay? Prithvi, can you tell me what I have said just now? Prithvi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, explain. Whatever you heard, you recall and explain.
Biologist developed a series of connected 60 hectares of marsh area, sir. Over there, algae and fungi and bacteria were seeded, sir.
Now, what they see to this marsh area, what was brought here? So, what was their plan? What these biologists said in their idea, in their mind? To treat what? This whole exercise is to treat what?
Water, sir.
Which water? To treat each water?
Wastewater.
Sewage water. So they made the sewage water to flow to certain distances. Lot of sedimentation took place, that floating metals removed. After that, they made this water to flow in an open area of 60 hectares. And this is what marshes you see in front of you. And they also made some of the plants, algae, bacteria, fungi to grow there. And whenever the water was let in about 60 hectares of open area, where 6 different types of marshes got interconnected, automatically the sewage water used to get treated naturally. Have you understood this, Rafa?
Yes, sir.
Harshvardhan?
Yes, sir.
Shall we move, Viswita? So,
Yes, sir.
the marshes also constitute a sanctuary. In that marshes, they also found a sanctuary with high level of biodiversity in the form of fishes, animals, birds that now reside there. A citizen group called Friends of Arcata Marsh, Friends of Arcata Marsh, FOAM, FOAM, are responsible for the upkeep and safeguarding of this wonderful project. Don't you think that these type of projects can be undertaken in our places also? Siddesh, Rakesh,
Yes, sir.
don't you think that it is possible in our places also? Yes, yes. But
Yes.
politicians will never permit you to do that. Why? Why? Why politicians will not permit you to do that? Navya,
Yes, sir.
why? Why they will not permit you to do that?
Don't know, sir.
Don't know. Who knows? Nadira knows. Why Nadira?
No, sir. I don't know.
Vismita,
No, sir.
you don't know?
No, sir.
Rakesh?
Take the money, sir.
Pardon, Rakesh?
To take the commission money.
Yeah, they can't take a commission. They can't make money. A public
They
arena.
can't get profit, sir.
Yeah, that is the thing. Otherwise, we have lot of youth power. We have a lot of ideas with our youth. Definitely, our problems can get solved locally. Local people get their problems solved locally. But if at all more and more youth power with the brain come here, these politicians cannot mint money. Okay. Now, all this time, we have achieved that removal of waste requires water. That is the creation of a sewage. You know, for all our unwanted thing, we just make use of water to get removed it. This is what the root cause of creation of sewage. Now, if at all we minimize water getting lost to the sewage, is it not a good idea? But what if water is not necessary to dispose of human waste like excreta? Now, you tell me, when you go to washroom, right? Right? After using this commode, how much water may be used to drain out your excreta? How much water might be used? You know, you flush out. How much water may be using that to flush out? Come on. Half liter? 1 liter? 2 liters? Come on, Tanu, Savitri. How much water approximately? Vismita, how much water approximately to flush out that excreta from the commode? Hello, Didi, Namrata.
1
Hello,
or 2 liters, sir.
1 or 2 liters? No, no, no. 1 or 2 liters never. It is not. If you leave 1 or
Sir,
2
4 to 5
liters
liters,
again,
sir.
huh?
4 to 5 liters, sir.
5 to 10 liters will go. You know what is the capacity of your bucket? Namrata?
No, sir.
How much water holds in your small bucket? Normal bucket, small bucket?
Yes, sir.
How much?
20 liters, sir.
It is generally 18 to 20 liters. Small bucket is 18, medium size is 20. After that, you will get nowadays 25, 30, etc. So, is it not this much of water you put? No? While flushing out, is it not that we may put about this much of water? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Or this much of water? This much of water means 5 liters. This much of water means 10 liters. Now, let us go for a method. After putting this, after defecating means after passing the fecal matter, if you are not at all using the water to drain it out, no water at all, you don't use water at all. What do? You do one thing, you just use tissue paper to clean the anal area, tissue paper, okay? No water you are using. Is it not good idea? Right? But if water is not necessary to dispose of human waste, like excreta, can you imagine the amount of water that one can save if he or she did not have to flush the toilet? After using the toilet, you are not going to flush out at all. You know how much water gets saved? This is the reality. We can save much of water. Ecological sanitation, very important term. We are now studying what is called ecological sanitation. That means getting this excreta drained out ecologically without the waste of water. Ecological sanitation is a sustainable system for handling human excreta using dry composting toilet. Dry composting toilet. Have you seen any one of you such eco-san toilet? Eco-san toilet. Eco-san toilet. Have you seen, Rafa?
No, sir.
No? Prithvi?
No, sir.
Sharan?
No, sir.
Shall you go there? Okay. This is a practical, hygienic, efficient, cost-effective solution to human waste disposal. If you go to toilet, if you go to washroom, if at all you go to washroom to pass fecal matter or urine, you need not to put water. You can come away. Straight away you can come. You need not to put even one drop of water there. The key point here is that with this composting method, human excreta can be recycled into a resource. That means human excreta now serves as a manure. You are not wasting it. You are using it as a manure. It serves as a natural fertilizer. Your urine, your fecal matter serves as a natural fertilizer, which reduces the need for chemical fertilizer. So, to your cropland, you can put human excreta only. Sarottam. Sarottam? Sarottam.
Yes, sir.
Are you sleeping?
No, sir.
Are you there in the room or outside?
No, sir.
Where are you sitting now? In the room? Hello?
Yes, sir.
In the room you are there?
Room, sir.
Room. Okay. Which crop you are growing back at your home? You have some land, am I right?
Yes, sir.
Agriculture land?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, what you grow there? What crop you are growing there?
Maize.
Maize. You just imagine next time Sarvottam is growing maize without using any chemical fertilizer. He is using natural fertilizer. Sarvottam.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let us see how it is possible. These are working ecos and toilet. What are these toilets called? Ecos and toilets. Right? Ecos and toilets. Jayasri? Jayasri?
Yes, sir.
What is the full form of ecos and toilets? Full form? Chandasri?
Yes.
What is the full form of ecos and toilets? Vismita? Who
Yes,
is it?
sir.
What is that? What is that?
Ecological sanitation.
Ecological sanitation.
Ecological sanitation toilet. Ecological sanitation toilet is ecos and toilet. And this is what you come across at Kerala and Sri Lanka. Okay? Jayasri, Tanasri, shall we visit? Come on. Are you seeing this? What you have to do, Chinmay, what you have to do is that you have to sit here. You have to sit here. You're one step here, another step here. Okay? You have to sit here. And your anal area should be exactly here. Okay? And the fecal matter you will be passing here. Right? Then, when you are getting this, you have to sit in such a way. When you get to shushu, you should see that your urine is not falling here, urine is straight away falling here. You have to sit a little bit front, and kakka goes down here, shushu comes here. And this is the hole through which your urine gets in and it goes to separate tank. This fecal matter gets settled in separate tank. After finishing your business, you have to move little bit back and take a little bit of water if you want. Little bit, as little as possible. Wash your anal area. Now you are here. Wash your anal area with a little water and that water goes here. So this is what? Harshavardhan? 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 Harshavardhan?
Yes, sir.
This is for what? This is for what?
Sir, ecological.
No, I am asking you, this hole is for what?
Sir, urinating.
Huh? And this is for what?
Sir, for fecal matter.
Fecal matter. And this is for what? Navya?
Sir, for washing.
For anal wash water. Water that is used for anal washing. That goes out. So once you come out, now you want to come out from this toilet. What you do? You just take some sawdust or whatever ash that you have, budi. You just put it, you just spread on that. Whatever you have passed, you just spread on that. You are covering your fecal matter with the sawdust, or or ash. You are covering it. Whenever next person goes there, he will not see. He will see only sawdust. He will see only booty. And again he repeats. In some of these ecosystem toilets, the toilet is open with a lot of aeration possible, and no smell also comes. Once it is full, completely gets filled, you have to cover it with some lid there, totally covered. Leave it for 6 months. Don't use it. Leave it for 6 months. After 6 months, when you are leaving it for 6 months, you use a fresh one, new one. If at all you are putting that now, lid here, now it is closed. This one, already have used it, and whatever the compost formed there, it got removed, and now you are taking the lid, using this one. After completion of that, leave it for another 6 months. In this way, in ecosystem tablets, there is a separate collection of this urine, which is with the urea that can be diluted, and it can be sprayed on the vegetables and all. And there is separate organic manure, natural manure. And this little bit of water comes by anal wash and all, it can be allowed to go to another tank, or it can be drained out. Understood? Clear? Have you understood this? Janani? Janani?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is what? This is already used, and this is ready to use. Okay. And many of you say, sir, I can't sit down. Or aged people cannot sit down. You can go for this type of commode also. Right? What has to do? One has to sit here, pass down, and this urine should be made to fall here. After it, slowly they have to lift and come and sit here and have anal wash. Anal wash. This is for anal wash water. And this is for fecal matter. This is for urine. Okay? So look here. A typical one, feces, anal wash water, urine. Understood? While sitting, one should sit facing this side. Okay? And after that, they should wash. Just going a little bit back. Understood? This is working out very well. Right? Now let us look into what is called solid waste. Right? Any doubt? Any doubt? The advantage of this ecosystem toilet is that there will not be mixing up of the fecal matter with the urine. So fecal matter separately it gets settled, urine separately it goes, and anal wash water separately. That the urine with urea can be just diluted and sprayed directly to the crop, and fecal matter after 6 months of complete the deterioration, decomposing, it can be used as manure. Very nice one. Any doubt you have? Any doubt you have?
No, sir.
Right? Who is not there now? Pratyaraj?
Yes, sir.
Lohit? Yeah.
Yes.
Who is not there? Charan? Chinmayi? Harshavardhan?
Yes, sir.
Chinmayi is there?
Yes, sir.
Who has selected the hall? Nadira?
Yes, sir.
You are there. Tanusri, Jayasri?
Yes, sir.
Kavita? You are there. Who has left? Okay, quick, attendance please. Aisha? Okay. Okay. Yes, I don't want to waste my time. Coming back here, can you see this slide? Solid waste. Solid waste refer to everything that goes out in a trash. Whatever that you give out from houses, unwanted, which you cannot use, which you don't want to use. The municipal solid waste are waste from homes, offices, stores, schools, hospitals, etc., that are collected and disposed of by the municipality. That is what's called municipal solid waste. The municipal solid waste generally comprise paper, food waste, plastics, glass, metals, rubber, leather, textile, etc. Burning, what we can do? We can, in one way, you can burn all the solid waste you dump somewhere and you burn. But burning in a small proportion may not cause much problem. But the problem is that, one, there will be huge accumulation of the solid waste, dumping of solid waste, and whenever burning is attempted, they don't get burnt 100% efficiently. So burning reduces the volume of the waste, although it is generally not burnt to completion. Not burnt to completion, that is the thing. And open dumps often serve as the breeding ground for rats and flies. What you see in every township, in every town, you see that in one or the other places, solid waste are getting dumped and that are getting lifted by another small vehicle or small vehicles, small auto, goods autos. They bring and dump in one particular place, and that is later it is loaded to another bigger truck, and from there it is taken. But it is not that much done systematically. They leave here and there something, and sometimes, if at all, in some of the places, local people start dumping in one particular place, instead of even telling that you should not dump in a place in wherever you want. No, yeah, people are not listening it properly, not following it properly. So many times we see that the dumps are just burnt, but whenever burning takes place, it is not burnt properly. Whenever it is half burned, left like that, rats, flies start appearing there. Sanitary landfills were adopted as a substitute for open burning dump. So, what is that sanitary landfill? We are just trying to find out to some depression. And filling up these depressions in that our solid waste, then covering these with the mud. That is what is called sanitary landfill. Sanitary landfill have adopted as a substitute for open burning dump. In a sanitary landfill, wastes are dumped in a depression or trench after compaction, after pressing them. They are just dumped in a depression and covered with the dirt every day. So if this is some large depression, you just start dumping waste. The municipal people, they just bring and dump here. Later, it is made compaction. It is pressed, it is made to just compact, to come down in their volume. Okay. Then, little bit of soil can be put here, but they don't put. Again, a fresh load is brought there. Again, it is made compacted like this. This is what is called sanitary landfill. Every day, fresh dirts come and get dumped, and every day it has to be compacted and it has to be covered with mud. It is very wise method, but how much we can have these depressions and we can fill it up. This is what a sanitary landfill. Okay. Yeah. If you live in a town or a city, do you know where the nearest landfill site is? No, we may not be knowing. Landfills are also not really much of a solution since the amount of garbage generation, how much garbage gets generated, especially in the metros, has increased so much that these sites are getting filled to. These landfills are not sufficient. Within no time that depressions, they get filled. And they have to go for another one. That gets filled, another one like that. Because that much of garbage is getting generated every day. Also, there is a danger of a seepage. Suppose there is a depression, let us say there is a depression, and all your solid waste are put there, they are compacted and like that. Suppose nearby that there is a well. There is a well. Okay. What you do in the well? To get the water from the well, when you try, you see that these, whatever that chemicals and all got leaked, they just start coming down. And through these streams, it may enter into the well. So, landfill is also not really much of solution since the amount of garbage generation, especially in the metros, has increased so much so that these sites are getting filled to. And also there's a danger of seepage of chemicals, from these landfills polluting the underground water sources. This is underground water source, which we are using to in the well to take the water there. It may just chemicals, they may get enter into the underground water source also. A solution to all this can only be in human being becoming more sensitive to these environment issues. Governmental agencies, municipal agencies, always they request us, so please sort out these waste as a dry waste, wet waste like that. So all waste that we generate can be categorized into three types: biodegradable, recyclable, and non-biodegradable. These are the three important. These are the three major categories where we can differentiate the waste into biodegradable, recyclable, non-biodegradable. It is important that all garbage generated is sorted. Very important. But unfortunately, even educated people, we are not doing it. Okay? This is what we have. Kabadiwalas, rag pickers. Generally, these sewages are dumped in one particular place. And these people, for their livelihood, they go there, they select the items because they fetch a little bit of money, small amount of money they'll get if at all they sell it to a right person. What can be reused or recycled? These are all there. What they're picking up is a reusable or recyclable. Should be separated out. Our kabadiwalas or rag pickers do a great job of separation of materials for recycling. The biodegradable material, this is about recyclable material. The biodegradable materials can be put into deep pits in the ground and be left for natural breakdown. Because they are biodegradable, they get degraded gradually. It can be put in depression or pits and left for natural breakdown. That leaves only the non-biodegradable. What we should do with this non-biodegradable? Recyclable are sent for recycling, biodegradable are left for biodegradation, and non-biodegradable is a problem. That this is only non-biodegradable. Your many of these non-biodegradable things are there. See, the need to reduce our garbage generation should be a prime goal. Instead, we are increasing the use of non-biodegradable. These are all non-biodegradable, whatever we have. So we have to minimize as much as possible the non-biodegradable products. Just pick any ready-made packet of any good quality eatable, say biscuit, that is used by Canisa. Canisa? Canisa?
Yes, sir.
Canisa? How much cover will be there in your biscuit packet? Is it not that at least one cover is of a plastic?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? Okay. Please remember, biscuit eating is not good. Okay. All that is artificial. There is nothing. All that, whatever that cake and all, for that they everything they put and make you to eat. As far as possible, whatever you can prepare and eat, that's the best. Just pick up any ready-made packet of any good quality eatable, used by Canisa, say biscuit packet, and study the packaging. Do you see the number of plastic layers used? At least one layer will be of plastic. So minimize this, right? Namrata, Jyoti, 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 hey,
Yes,
No.
sir.
Go on. Yeah. Diti, can you minimize using tissue paper?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you minimize using this water bottle, plastic water bottle?
I don't use it, sir.
You don't use it? Then
No,
what
sir.
bottle you use it?
I use steel.
Still, good, good girl. Yeah. So we have to see what all we can minimize these non-biodegradable waste. They'll not get. They dump you in the soil. It takes a lot of years for decomposing. We have started packaging even our daily use products like milk and water in polybags. So many times you might have seen that water is so sold like this. Don't buy them. Don't buy them. If at all there are any RO, there is a separate water available there, take this water bottle, fill up that water. Minimize you using Bisleri, that this type of water. In cities, fruits and vegetables can be bought packed in beautiful polystyrene and plastic packaging. No. Take one gunny bag, and whatever you want, you just put it inside this and come. Don't go for, say no to plastic. These all should use at your individual level, contribute heavily to environment pollution. These all non-biodegradable, they contribute heavily to the environmental pollution. State government across the country are trying to push for reduction use of plastics and use of eco-friendly packaging. You know, now whenever you go to marriage function and all, you know what they give you? Vismita, you know this? You know this? In cities,
No, sir.
they give what is called falatambula. You know what is falatambula? Janani, you know what is falatambula? Janani, Janani, what is falatambula? Hey, Janani is not there. Namia, what is falatambula?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. In most of the marriages in Bangalore and all, they give you one coconut and 2, 3 betel nut leaves. Betel leaves. And they give this in one type of bag. This is what is called a type of bag that you get. Next time also, don't throw this bag. You keep that bag. Whenever you go to fetch flowers or fetch chilies or small items, use that. And whatever the bags are given to you in the college, sometimes at the beginning, they give you very big bag with the books there, with the books there. If at all they give you any cloth bags with books there, use that to get these groceries or vegetable with that. We can do our bit by carrying a cloth or other natural fiber carry bags when we go for shopping and by refusing polythene bags. Say no, I don't want. Go for these cloth bags. Okay? Right? A case study of a remedy of a plastic waste. Wonderful work was done by a person by name Ahmad Khan, a 57 years aged at that time. I am telling about before 2007. He may be now about 87 or 90, I don't know. A plastic sack manufacturer in Bangalore has managed to find the ideal solution to the ever-increasing problem accumulating plastic waste. Ahmad Khan, aged 57 years old, has been producing plastic sacks for 20 years. This is in 2007. Compared to that, about 8 years ago, he realized that plastic waste was a real problem. Polybrand, important. Polybrand is nothing but a powdered plastic, a fine powder of recycled modified plastic. Your all polythene or sorry, your Bisleri bottle and all, if at all it is powdered, it gives what is called polyblend. Polyblend, a fine powder of recycled modified plastic, was developed then by his company. This mixture is mixed with the bitumen. Bitumen is the one which is always used in road laying. The mixture of polyblend is mixed with the bitumen that is used to play roads. In collaboration with the RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, Ahmad Khan proved that blends of polyblend and bitumen, blends means a mixture of polyblend and bitumen when it's applied on the road, when used to lay roads, enhanced the bitumen's water repellent property. Bitumen used to repel the water, it never used to absorb. It used to repel the water, but if at all the polyblend is mixed with the bitumen, it used to enhance the repellent, water repellent properties and help to increase road life by a factor of 3. If the polyblend is not used, what is the road life if only bitumen is used? When compared to that, if the polyblend is used, it used to improve the increase in the road life by a factor of 3. 3 times it used to remain more safe. Its life used to extend by more than 3 years. If the only bitumen is used, if at all you say that bitumen is used for road laying, the road used to extend, let us think that last 5 years. If the polyblend is mixed with that, the road used to be there in good condition for 8 years. Okay, this is what. It used to enhance the water repellent properties of the bitumen. Okay, this is what. Bitumen is used. When this polyblend is used, you can see that polyblend. This is the first one is the bitumen. So this is polyblend is used, then it used to increase the safety by 3 times more. Okay. The raw material for creating polyblend is a thin plastic film waste. So against the price of, he used to give Ahmad Khan, if others used to give 0.40 paisa per kg waste, Ahmad Khan used to give them 6 rupees. And using Khan's technique, by the year 2002, more than 40 kilometers of road in Bangalore has already been laid. At this rate, Khan will soon be running short of plastic waste in Bangalore to produce polyblend. Thanks to innovations like polyblend, we might still avoid being smothered by plastic waste. So whatever plastic waste are there, you can melt and use it in road construction. That is the thing. Now, but the only thing is that we have to sort it out. We have to sort it out. We should not leave it in nature as such. That's the important point. Okay. So hospitals generate hazardous waste substances that contain disinfectants and other harmful chemicals and also pathogen microorganisms. What is done here in the hospitals? The waste also require careful treatment and disposal. The use of incinerator are the devices where they are burnt. All these are put together, they are burnt. The use of incinerators is crucial to for the disposal of hospital waste. Irreparable computers and other electronic goods are known as electronic waste. Every mobile phone is a electronic waste. Every laptop is an electronic waste. E-wastes are buried in a landfills or incinerated. Incinerated means burning. Over half of the e-wastes generated in the developed world are exported to developing countries like China, India, Pakistan, where metals like copper, iron, silicon, nickel, and gold are recovered during this recycling process. Most of these e-wastes are sent to the developing countries. Because in some of them, a little bit of small metals will be there. But remember, in foreign countries, this sorting out is done mechanically by machines. But in India, people are doing with the hand. That much of health gets affected. So unlike developed countries, which have specifically built facilities for recycling of e-waste, recycling in our countries involve manual participation, thus exposing workers to toxic substances present in e-waste. Recycling is the only solution for the treatment of e-waste. Recycling is the only solution for the treatment of e-waste, provided it is carried out in an environment-friendly manner. We have to see it is carried out in an environmental friendly manner without causing any problem to the environment. Okay, so I shall stop it here and I'll be taking up this agrochemical and their effects in the afternoon class at 5:30. Any doubt you have? Do you have any doubts?